The first human space flight was performed by Russian cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin with the Vostok spacecraft on April 12, 1961, ushering in the era of space travel. After launching into space, the spacecraft took Gagarin around the Earth, and then plunged back into the atmosphere. Since Vostok had no landing gear, Gagarin had to get out and parachute to land. Vostok is only capable of carrying one astronaut. The passenger cabin is quite small, spherical, and has a window near the astronaut's feet. From 1961 to 1963, Vostok launched 6 times, sending 6 astronauts into space, including the first woman, Valentina Tereshkova, on her final flight in 1963. Decades after the first Soviet passenger train, many models of ships around the world were born with large capacity and modern equipment. Just 3 weeks after the Soviet Union sent Gagarin into space, the U.S. also launched a manned spacecraft to suborbital space under Project Mercury. The first American astronaut on that flight was Alan Shepard. Today, billionaire Jeff Bezos' company, Blue Origin, names its key launch vehicle, the New Shepard, after him. In February 1962, astronaut John Glenn entered orbit on the Mercury spacecraft. The last passenger train of this model took place in 1963. Mercury is a conical vehicle with a window close to eye level for the astronauts to observe. Like the Soviet Vostok, it carried only 1 cosmonaut and made a total of 6 launches. Gemini is basically a modified version of the Mercury spacecraft with the capacity of 2 astronauts. Voskhod, the successor to the Soviet Union's Voskhod, was stylishly designed to perform out-of-the-way walks, and NASA once again followed closely with the Gemini program. During Voskod's final flight in 1965, Alexei Leonov performed the first human walk outside the void, stepping outside for about 12 minutes. Soon after, Gemini's first spacewalk was conducted by NASA astronaut Ed White. He was tethered to lifelines about 7 meters long and hovered in the void for about 20 minutes. The Gemini program is also of interest because it has trained astronauts docked with other spacecrafts in the void, an important factor with later NASA moon landings. Gemini sent a total of 20 astronauts to space and was only recently surpassed by SpaceX. Soyuz is the longest manned spaceflight program in history. The first Soyuz was launched in 1967. Since then, Russia has developed 10 different versions of this model. More than 150 passenger flights have been carried out by the Soyuz. Soyuz means unity in Russian. All versions follow a 3-part design. During the first Soyuz launch, cosmonaut Vladimir Komarov was killed by a parachute failure. On his return to Earth, astronaut Buzz Aldrin and the moon lander during the 1969 Apollo 11 mission. This mission was carried out by 3 separate modules: Descent Module, Fregat Orbital Tug Habitation Module that brought Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin to the surface of the celestial body. The last Apollo mission, Apollo 17, took place in December 1972. The last time humans were on the moon. NASA and SpaceX hope to achieve this again sometime around 2025 with the Artemis 3 mission. A total of 24 people flew to the moon during the 9 Apollo missions from December 1968 to December 1972. NASA's Space Shuttle is the first reusable human-carrying spacecraft. NASA has built 5 working space shuttles, named Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, Atlantis and Endeavour, respectively. They made a total of 135 space flights between 1981 and 2011, carrying 355 astronauts, many of whom flew more than once. 2 of the 5 space shuttles were destroyed in the Challenger disaster of 1986 and the Columbia disaster of 2003. Shenzhou 14 and Long March 2nd FROC.T get ready on launch pad. At Nguyen Satellite Launch Center, the Shenzhou 5 mission on October 15, 2003, put astronaut Yang Liwei into orbit and helped China become the 3rd country to successfully send a man into space. The Shenzhou train is similar in design to the Soyuz but larger. The ship first launched on November 19, 1999. Carrying no people. The most recent was the Shenzhou 13 mission, with the crew returning to Earth in April.
In May 2020, with the Demo 2 mission, SpaceX's Crew Dragon spacecraft marked the first time NASA launched a human-carrying spacecraft in the US since 2011, when the Space Shuttle retired. After a nearly 19-hour free flight, on the evening of May 31st, the Crew Dragon spacecraft, carrying NASA astronauts Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken, successfully connected to the International Space Station. On October 5th, SpaceX's Endurance spacecraft was launched into orbit, carrying Crew 5 crew for long-term work on the International Space Station. At 2300 hours on October 5th, the Falcon 9 rocket, carrying the Endurance ship, a part of the Crew Dragon system, an American spaceship transporting people, took off from Launch Pad 39A at the Space Center, Kennedy Space Agency from NASA, at Cape Canaveral, Florida. Endurance's journey to the ISS took about 29 hours. Crew 5 is the name marking the 5th flight to the ISS of NASA performed on a flying vehicle. Provided by SpaceX company, after the 2 sides started cooperation in May 2020. Since then, SpaceX has sent a total of 22 astronauts into space on missions, as well as on commercial missions AX-1 and Inspiration 4. Crew Dragon is also slated to be used to conduct the first commercial spacewalk in history. When he founded SpaceX in 2002, billionaire Elon Musk thought that what his company did was an impossible mission. Musk estimates that the company's probability of success is only from 0.1 to 1%. However, so far, SpaceX has not only created a new turning point for Elon Musk, but also the US and international aerospace industry. Please like, share with friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to support ASK KPOP Entertainment. to make more interesting videos. Have a nice day.